Welcome to Eternal Legends, where the mysteries and magic of the past never cease to amaze us. Tonight, we delve into the dark waters of a lost kingdom where the legend of the Fisher King has endured for centuries, intertwined with tragedy and hope. This is the story of a king, his realm, and the destiny that bound him to the sea. The kingdom of the Fisher King was surrounded by a vast sea whose waters gleamed and with a blue so deep it seemed like a mirror to the sky itself. The kingdom lived in peace, thanks to the abundant fish that fed its people. However, there was a price to this abundance, a price no one fully understood. The king, a wise but reserved man, had been blessed by the gods with an extraordinary gift. He could catch the largest and most beautiful fish effortlessly, but in exchange, he was bound to a prophecy. Every night, the sea claimed something of his life. Many years ago, an old wise woman came to the king's court. No one knew where she came from, but her eyes reflected the vastness of the ocean, and her voice carried the strength of the waves. "Fisher King," she said, "your reign will be eternal, but your life will be a never-ending cycle. Only a sacrifice can break the bond that ties you to the sea." The king listened in silence, but fear and doubt filled his heart. The old woman, sensing what he feared, added, "Only an act of pure sacrifice, one born from a truly pure heart, can break this curse." The king began his relentless search for this pure heart, this sacrifice that would free him from the curse. He traveled throughout his kingdom, he spoke to sages, and sought among both the humble and the powerful, but nothing seemed enough. One night, while meditating beside the sea, a glowing figure appeared in the waters. It was a mermaid, the protector of the kingdom, who had been the one to bestow the king's gift. "Your sacrifice," she said, "is not what you expect. It is your true love that can liberate your kingdom." The king, filled with doubt, understood that the answer was not a victory over evil, but an act of selfless love, something beyond ego and greed. The legend of the Fisher King tells how, on his final night, the king had to choose between saving his kingdom or losing everything he loved. In a last desperate attempt, the king ventured into the dark waters of the ocean, where he confronted the creature who had cursed him. The confrontation was fierce, but in the end, the king realized that it was not strength he should use to win, but his purest love. In a desperate act, he threw himself into the sea, willing to give his life for the good of his people. His sacrifice broke the curse that bound him, and the sea, in a divine reaction, embraced him with arms of calm. The death of the Fisher King was not the end, but the beginning of a new era. The kingdom, which had flourished thanks to his sacrifice, began to live in harmony with the waters, no longer fearing the curse. From then on, the sea was seen as a symbol of renewal and a deep connection with nature. Fishermen, who once feared the sea, now revered it, knowing that only with respect and love could they receive the bounty it offered. The sacrificing of the Fisher King reminds us that great sacrifices are never easy to understand. Sometimes, what seems like a tragic end is in reality the beginning of something new, something greater than ourselves. Thus, the Fisher King lives on in the collective memory of his people, not as a monarch, but as a symbol of love, sacrifice, and redemption. Today, when we gaze upon the sea, we remember not only its beauty, but also the sacrifice that transformed a cursed destiny into an eternal blessing. And so, the story of the Fisher King endures in the wind that whispers through the waves. A legend that speaks not only of a man, but of all those willing to sacrifice for the greater good. On Eternal Legends, the truth sleeps, and we awaken it.